If I laid two hoodies down that were identical on the table, you would almost swear that they were the same exact garment. However, after using each garment or printing on them, you're going to notice that maybe one starts to ghost a little bit or it pills after 2 weeks, and the other is a premium, high quality, and really just sells itself. Today, I am cutting through all of the noise for you guys, and I am telling you the exact brands and garments that I would trust to use for my client jobs so that you can stop guessing and start profiting. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mick. I am the owner and the head of production at amstransfers.com. We are a DTF transfer and screen print shop here in Houston, Texas. We also print finished apparel for schools, companies, and brands just like yours. So I've been around the block when it comes to garments and which one works best. If you guys remember, a few months ago, I did the best t-shirt blanks for DTF and screen printing. And I thought since it's October and we're getting in all of the fall feels, we will do the best hoodies for screen printing and DTF. We're going to cover which hoodies will print the cleanest, which one will give you the best profit margins, as well as which ones are the easiest to source and keep in stock. I'm not only going to be going over the ones that I like, but I will also be going over some of the favorites that our customers like to order themselves. But let's just get straight into it. I'm going to start by telling you guys what exactly we look for when it comes to quality or material to determine if a blank hoodie is going to be good quality, print well, and all of that. The first is we look at face yarn first. This is a cotton face solid garment. It's going to have very clean, crisp, fine detail, whether you're screen printing or DTF transfers, as opposed to polyface, which is a little more temperamental when it comes to heat. Another thing that we look for is weight. We have a lot of customers who some want the heavy weight because they're looking for hoodies, and others aren't really too keen on a super heavy, super bulky hoodie. We also look at the actual hoodie itself when we are pricing a client. So if they have a specific price that they need to stay under, we're going to go for some that's still, we're still needing to make profit. So we're going to look at the prices of the different garments and see if there's one that maybe will work best for your company or your brand. If you're wanting to do a high-end brand and you're just wanting to sell one-offs, you might find that going a little pricier on the blank hoodies is going to get you a better feel. However, if you're printing for 1,000 hoodies and you're just really wanting a super simple, super easy design that's like low price, then you're gonna go for kind of the cheaper, more budget option. Color and size run. This is definitely a big one that we look for because, people like their hoodies big, so you need one that has a wide size range. Typically, we look for XS to 5X, which is the general size of that everyone has. However, there are some that only go from like small to 3X, as well as that only have a few different colors rather than like 55 colors. So if that is something that is important to you and you want to have a lot of different SKUs when it comes to the color, you want to keep that in mind. Consistency and quality control. I've had some sweatshirts that I will put it on and I will think this is a lot bigger than the last time I wore it, or this is a lot smaller from the last time. It fits a little more snug. So see if there's one that kind of sticks with the same consistency. That is very important. But again, that very rarely happens. Let me know if you guys have any of those experiences. It sometimes happens with kind of just one particular brand, and I'll get into that later on. Another thing that you do need to focus on is printability. Is it going to be something that a DTF transfer is going to stick very easily to, or is it going to be something that's going to allow screen printing to have a super vibrant white? So let's start with the first one. This is the kind of more budget size, and this is the Hanes P170 EcoSmart. The price range for this one is going to be roughly around $9. It weighs about 7.8 ounces, maybe a little bit more. It's a 50-50, so that is 50% cotton, 50% polyester. People say, a lot of reviews say that it is basically just a little bit of a standard size, like it doesn't run too big, doesn't run too small. This is very big for corporate events, like school districts. We have actually printed on this one before. To be honest, guys, it wasn't my favorite. I felt like it was very low quality, not low quality, just very, I don't know if low quality is the proper word. I would say it just feels very low quality. It didn't feel like it was a super, like I would go buy it from a store, you know what I mean? So that is definitely one of the cons. It's definitely not a fashion piece, but the price point is something that you can't beat. So again, like I said, if you're looking for those large company events or you're doing it for a school sporting event, it is definitely an option to give your client. While most reviews said that it was a standard fit, some did point in the running small. So if that's something like you're in between sizes, you definitely want to size up. While it is cheap, it is still very soft and it is a comfortable fit. It's very lightweight. Some people do like the eco-friendly factor behind that. It's a very good layering piece. So like I said, if you're doing it for sports or you're doing it for a retreat somewhere that's like outdoors, it's great to throw on over a t-shirt or throw on if you're running outside. And it is a popular choice in the screen printing and embroidery groups, but it is definitely not a high quality premium one. In the range of colors, it does come with 43 different colors, so you have a wide variety to choose from. I actually got all my information from SNS Activewear, so when I was looking, I was seeing all of the, you can see all the locations and how many. This didn't seem like it was one that would be too hard to track down or keep in stock. There are ones further on this list that are going to be a little harder to find, but this one you will definitely not have a hard time finding it from any of their warehouses or any of the colors. The next one, I think we all know which this one is. It's the standard basic, and that is the Gildan Heavy Blend. This one typically runs wholesale at about $9.94. Comes in 44 different colors, and like I said with the last one, there was no trouble finding them in any of the SNS warehouses, so I don't think this one will be too hard to track down or too hard to keep in stock. It weighs about 8 ounces. Obviously, we have all felt this one. Some people love it, some people hate it. One is again very big for people who are doing it for uniforms, school events, corporate events, anything like that, kind of those big bulk runs. The Gildan is definitely one to keep in mind for all of those. One of the downsides for it was definitely people think it runs small. I personally have not had this issue. Leave in the comments if you have, how you feel about the sizes. But this one is again one of those where people said that it ran either small or standard to size. So size up if you're in between. It's honestly, it's just affordable. It gets the job done. It's a staple in the industry and you really just cannot beat that cost. Next, we have the Jerzees NuBlend. This was described as budget that doesn't necessarily look like budget. It comes in at $10.44 wholesale, weighs about 8 ounces, and is a 50-50 poly cotton blend. This one has a very high reputation for being good for DTF transfers. A lot of people use it for fundraising events, spirit wear. However, a lot of people in the industry do mention that you don't want to print too heavy of inks on it, so if that would come down to like screen printing, you just want to be careful, especially as you get to the higher sizes because the material does get thinner. But it is very budget friendly. It offers 51 different colors, and that high stitch density really it does allow for a smooth print surface. Next, we have the Gildan DryBlend. This comes in at $14.41. This comes in at 9 ounces, 50-50 cotton poly, and actually a lot of notes about it state that it is very moisture friendly and it has a very regular fit as opposed to the Heavy Blend, which people said ran small. This one seems to run more true to size. It's used more as a outdoor crew, workwear, sports clubs like soccer clubs, but it also is just known to handle the outdoors better than the Heavy Blend. It's praised for being soft, warm, which is another reason it's great for outdoor use. And another thing to note is that a lot of people, I've used this one as myself, the color of the DTF transfers or the screen print transfers stays vibrant throughout the whole life of the garment. It doesn't just like wash off or fade after one wash. A lot of people say that it does still feel a little thinner than the Heavy Blend and that it might feel a little snug on the wrists. Again, I didn't feel that way. Nothing about the actual fit itself. It's just more like the little like wrist cuffs that come with it. I personally had the issue of that with another one on here, which again, I'll get into, but that's something to note that people have brought up. Again, I don't feel that way, but leave in the comments if you do. It's a great one to kind of get your leg into the door if you're just starting out as a brand and you don't want like the low-end Gildans or the Hanes, but you want something that's not going to break your bank and that you can still kind of like dabble in it, see what your customers are willing to pay. This is a great option for that. The downside for this one is that it only comes in 12 different colors, and I'm honestly looking right now on my computer and It does seem like this is a little more harder to keep in stock. I'll add some to the screen to show you guys. But even like the ash color, which is like your typical gray, there is no sizes small or mediums, and it only goes from size small to 3X. So this is one that isn't ideal in that way, but it does have the very basic same colors. It has the black, it has the ash, it has the charcoal, the forest, all that. Again, I'll add all this onto the screen. It does seem like they do maybe keep the black in stock and all of that. So keep in mind, again, these are just things you have to remember if you're trying to pick one that is specific to your brand or what you're going to be known for. You got to be able to keep your quality up, and you don't want to have to go for a low-end one if this one is out of stock. Next one, I'm sure again we have all heard, and that is the independent trading company. So there's actually 2 of these on the list. The first one is the 4500. This one is considered the midweight option. It is $10.25 wholesale, and it has a variety of 42 different colors. So it's high up there on the 42 list, and the Gildan and the Hanes and all of that. It has a lot of different colors. Weighs about 8.5 ounces. It is 80/20 with a cotton face. Like I said at the beginning, that is going to be very good for the crisp lines of screen printing and DTF transfers. Little side note, that is another big thing. All of these are going to be in unisex sizes. This one is actually known as one of the biggest shirts that like you'll find at concerts, you'll find at merch drops, you'll find from your favorite celebrity. I learned that a lot of my favorite artists and my favorite like YouTubers actually use the independent trading company. It's funny because when you work in this industry for so long, these are things that you notice. You guys didn't know, Alex is a very big fan of Travis Scott, so we go to all of his concerts and we bought merch, obviously. And for like the first 3 years of our business, we were looking for the exact garment he used for his hoodies and his t-shirts because we really liked them and they felt great. So if you're in the industry, you know that like you notice these little things. You notice when a company or a brand or a artist or whoever is selling a good quality product, and they're not just scamming you for having to pay like $95 for a shirt and it's a Gildan. Which after listening to this video, you're probably all sitting there like, well, they are still scamming us if you're paying $95 for a shirt, because a lot of these on this list are only like $10. They're buying them in bulk like you do for concerts and whatever, then this is gonna be even cheaper for them. Back to the independent trading company. One thing you do wanna watch out for the 4500 is with the heather colors, you wanna do lower heat to prevent anything like dye migration from happening. This comes from like screen printing, stuff like that. So just keep an eye on those heather colors. That actually is a lot. If you guys didn't know that heather colors, actually, you do have to treat them differently sometimes because they are made differently. So check your tags and make sure that you are printing for those heather colors. Next, we have the independent trading company, and this is the 4000. This is about $1 more, so it's about $11.44. Still have 46 different colors. This one is known more as the heavyweight version, but it is very, very popular. We personally love this one. I literally asked Alex right before I was filming this video, what is your favorite hoodie? And he said anything by independent trading company. So this is a great hoodie to use. We love it. And for $11.44, I mean, honestly, from the $8.95 or whatever I said for the Hanes to an independent trading company, that's $3 more. I would find a way to make that work just for the quality of the independent trading company. Next, we have a name that I'm sure, again, everyone knows. It's right along there with Gildan and all of that. And this is the Bella+Canvas 3719. Wholesale, this ranges at $13.18. It weighs about 8 ounces, a little over. It has a very modern look, very lifestyle brandish. A lot of women seem to really like this hoodie. I like this hoodie. I honestly think we have some like laying around the shop somewhere. It feels very high quality and expensive. It also comes with 63 different colors. I'm actually gonna look at this one and see how easy it is to find. If you guys haven't seen this one, it comes with the little like tassel things, whatever those are called, the strings of the hoodie. They all come in white, so if you have a black hoodie, it has like the white strings. I like that. I think it adds a little bit of a flair to it. So as I'm looking, this does look like it is a little harder to find in certain colors. It looks like obviously right now the fall colors are a little bit harder. It seems that they keep very very high stock of the blacks, the whites, the grays, but then when you get into those very specific colors, it kind of dies down a little bit. Like I'm looking at this one that's called Autumn, and there is only like 18 of a large left in one of the warehouses. So that could be just from popularity, but it also could just be because they don't keep it in stock all year round. So keep an eye on this if you're wanting to add it to like a Christmas collection or something like that. Let's look. Yeah, so like even their greens and stuff like that, like their red is fully stocked, but just keep an eye on it. Again, this one just feels very, very premium. I typically feel some days I like Bella+Canvas's like t-shirts and some days I don't. This is one that I feel like sometimes the fit isn't great, and I've heard it from some other people too. It's just kind of is iffy on how they feel about it. But this is one hoodie that I do generally like. It does feel very cloud-like, very soft. A lot of people that love this are looking for like lifestyle brands, like I said, or like cozy feels. Again, we're all about the cozy vibes over here. So this is one of my favorites. As we are getting into the more expensive, more premium variants, you just gotta keep your ears and eyes open. Just let's discuss. And this is the Champion Powerblend. This one does come to a wholesale price of $16, which is crazy to me for wholesale, because if you buy a Gildan and you put a print on it, you could sell that for $16 and still make profit. But anyway, again, it's a premium brand. You have to keep that in mind. If you're looking for the premium sweatshirt, this is going to be one for you. But premium, so I'm going to put that, this is the premium. It is on the heavier side. It's 9 ounces of dense fleece, and it gives that retro vibe. Like we've all seen the Champion hoodies. It is great for a solid print. I have some Champion hoodies myself that I like, but the one biggest thing about this, I would say, is that the brand is well known, and people, you know, you have brand loyalty when it comes to Champion. Everyone knows what their logo is. Everyone will know that you're wearing Champion. So if you're wanting to be seen as a high-end brand and you have like a Champion sweatshirt with your logo or something, and people are shopping, they're going to see that and be like, oh, this is a premium brand. This is high quality. They want to be seen as like upper, you know what I mean? It does come in 26 colors. We're actually going to check the stock of this one too. Wrong, let's see. Yeah, this one, I think the only one that they have in stock like is like black. So that's something to keep in mind. Even like they have one color that's like dark green. They don't even have any colors ready for it. So, I mean, they have some. So the thing with SNS is that you do have a bunch of different warehouses. We order strictly from the Fort Worth one if we can get it, obviously, because we get it next day. But you might just have to shop around for them. It's funny because when I think of like Champion, and I don't know if this is just because I have these colors, but I have like a royal and I have a crew neck that is navy, so I just think Champion, or I think of like gray, and those are the ones that are sold out the most. So it's quite interesting. But again, premium, you just might have to wait a little longer to get this, or for them to get it back in stock. If that is something that is very important to you, keep that in mind before you launch. And then obviously we have to just get into some honorable mentions that I personally love, that Alex loves, that my customers have loved. I have printed on every single one of these garments that I listed in this video, and you really can't go wrong when it comes to printing. If you are dealing with a quality printer, a quality DTF transfer, whatever it is, you are going to be able to have a crisp print if you are heat pressing them and you heat press them correctly and you wash them correctly. It's all about the actual quality of the transfer and everything that you're using, but there is sometimes when the fabric does come into play, whether you have to preheat the garment before because it holds moisture more, or you have to make sure that the temp is lower because it's a heather color. Again, I've printed on all of these hoodies and they all have come out super crisp, super clean. But let's get into the honorable mentions. The first one is, you guys know, my tried and true, one of my favorite brands, and that is the Comfort Colors. For the longest time, up until about a year ago when Alex bought it, I did not know they even sold hoodies. And I bought one, and it looks just like the t-shirts, just in hoodie form. So if you like the look of Comfort Colors and you like the vintagey feel of it, they have hoodies and they are adorable and I like them, but the downside is the price. You are paying wholesale of $28 and like 46 cents, I think. And it only comes in 11 colors. that is a downside because even wholesale, paying $30 for a hoodie is insane. So it's not going to be something that you can do probably in like your first launch. Again, think about buying a Champion hoodie for $16 and people thinking you're more premium than when you buy like a Comfort Colors for $28. Anyway, that is a big one. You want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind. I love it though. Has a very like relaxed feel to it. Again, I think I've worn it in my past vlogs, so I'll try to find some clips of that, but I like it, highly recommend. And obviously another honorable mention, if you liked my t-shirt video, then you know that we are big fans of AS Color. AS Color is a premium blank company. They sell a bunch of different ones. So one is the Made hoodie. This is used for a lot of big artists and a lot of premium artists that want the super expensive garment. We love AS Color. Again, it's on the pricier side, so keep that in mind. But we have bought quite a few AS Color hoodies, and I mean, we still have them to this day. They last us forever. Sometimes I feel like the lower end quality hoodies like Gildan, even like some of the Hanes ones, if you buy it in like white or gray, they kind of get discolored. But I haven't had any issues with our AS Colors or our Comfort Colors, but I'll attach, didn't have the information on them right now because I have to log onto our wholesale account. But literally on AS Colors website, it says that they are suited DTF and screen printing as well as embroidery. So the printing on them is great. But I hope, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that this video helped you kind of narrow down a little bit on the hoodies and the blanks that you should be choosing for this fall. I do have a video coming up of crew necks. Obviously, we have to cover all the hoodies and all the sweater basics. Leave in the comments below your favorite hoodies or your favorite crew necks or anything that I didn't mention in this video. Leave it below. I love to hear your guys' thoughts on those. If you guys need DTF transfers or screen print transfers or finished apparel, go to amstransfers.com. Make sure you try out Design Gen, and I will see you guys next week.